Hello everyone, and welcome to China Discovery Channel. Guangzhou, as a barometer of China's foreign trade, the biannual China Import and Export Fair, Canton Fair, has always attracted close attention. However, at the ongoing 137th Canton Fair Spring Session in Guangzhou, since it opened on April 15, the scene on site has stood in stark contrast to past bustle, sending a clear signal of the severe challenges facing China's foreign trade. Many exhibitors and observers have felt an unprecedented chill and worry about the future of the world's factory. This session of the Canton Fair is scheduled to run until May 5. One observer inside the exhibition hall described the wide aisles as like a Russian corridor, referring to the fair's main thoroughfare. Foot traffic was sparse, though he occasionally spotted faces that seemed Russian or of Indian descent. He estimated that 98% of visitors were Chinese. He noted that even at peak times, around 4 p.m. or 1:20 p.m., the hall was much quieter than before, a fact one could see with one's own eyes. By 10:30 p.m., there wasn't a single foreigner in the hall, only Chinese attendees. The same was true at 10:30 a.m., not one foreign visitor, just Chinese people. This shift in visitor makeup and volume surprised many on site. Video clips even captured unusual scenes where exhibitors outnumbered visitors. One exhibitor bluntly said the hall felt too quiet. Even when customers came to inquire, they didn't look American, most seemed from Asia, Africa, or Latin America. The quiet wasn't limited to the venue. Taxi drivers near the Canton Fair also sensed the lull, puzzled why Guangzhou South Railway Station, usually teeming with foreign traders, had almost no one hailing rides. "It's so sad, who can understand this?" they lamented. The scene at Guangzhou South Station on April 14, one day before the fair's opening, foreshadowed the event's plight. Why was the station, which should have welcomed large numbers of foreign trade professionals, so quiet? That question hung in the air locally. The Canton Fair is seen as a key window into the health of China's foreign trade, and the 137th session comes at a sensitive time of sustained Sino-US trade tension and rising tariffs. Many believe that for China's export-reliant companies, this fair is a make-or-break moment for the future of the world's factory. Yet the bleak reality on the ground seems to confirm the worst fears. Multiple exporters interviewed said that the current U.S. market is basically frozen, and that American buyers are completely absent. Some exhibitors revealed that their major American clients from past years did not show up at all this year. This difficulty is felt not just at the fair itself. On social media, many business owners shared their struggles. "Our company doesn't even take part in the Canton Fair anymore, only industry-specific shows," one owner wrote, implying the fair is no longer their main source of orders. Another lamented, "It's now more profitable to sell booth space than products," highlighting the hardship of physical trade. Some commented, "The Canton Fair has been in decline for over a decade. Companies that still attend just want to show they haven't gone bankrupt," reflecting how the fair's role has shifted and how reluctant many firms feel. A furniture seller from Fujian complained to overseas media that business has been tough for years. He mentioned last month's Furniture Expo in Shenzhen was also disappointing. His company has long relied on traditional export models, mainly targeting the US and Europe, but now foreign trade has taken a huge hit. Since clients seldom visit factories, trade fairs are their only chance to meet overseas buyers. At the Canton Fair, they hope, if they're lucky, to showcase new products to prove they're still in business. Securing a booth at the Canton Fair is no easy feat. Companies that skip a year or two risk losing their spots to others. Despite the challenges, official data show over 30,000 companies participated this session, including about 1,600 import stalls. As of pre-registrations on April 8, nearly 170,000 overseas buyers had signed up, 72% from Belt and Road nations, 27% from BRICS countries, 14% from the Middle East, and only 10% from Europe and the US. However, a database broker who gathers supplier information said only about 24,700 Chinese companies, mostly factories, actually attended. On-site feedback also supports the low proportion of European and American buyers in the official pre-registration data. A worker at a lamp factory in Zhongshan, Guangdong, said they saw more buyers from Ukraine, Russia, and some African countries, but none from Germany, France, or the US. Within China, debate over the fair's dwindling popularity is widespread. Some business owners admit, "I haven't really seen Western buyers in 5 years." Others say it's become hard to find new foreign clients at the fair, because local competitors are too many, driving up customer acquisition costs. A supplier who has attended the fair 16 years in a row said, "The cards I collected this time were only half the usual amount, and that business has been quiet since the pandemic. The last session was already depressing." One Shenzhen entrepreneur predicted before the fair began that this year's turnout would be worse than last year's, saying last year was already very bad, and this year could be worse. He blamed the unpredictability on about 2/3 of the world grappling with U.S. tariff policies, which have made the global trade environment unpredictable. Against the complex backdrop of China's economic performance, export data are often seen as indicators of vitality. But the ever-worsening unemployment situation is becoming a more direct mirror of economic reality. For ordinary people, the most tangible measure of economic fluctuation is not cold statistics, but the availability and stability of jobs. Currently, unemployment is China's greatest economic challenge. Its worsening trend is evident not only in official figures but in the profound impact on people's lives. According to the National Bureau of Statistics, February's urban surveyed unemployment rate was 5.3%, up 0.2 percentage points month-on-month. Notably, the rate for the 16 to 24 age group, excluding students, hit 16.9%, up 0.8 points. Those aged 25 to 29 had a rate of 7.3%, up 0.4 points, and the 30 to 59 group was at 4.3%. Analysis shows that, despite possible underestimation, the upward trend in unemployment spans all age groups. It's likely that March and April data will show even broader deterioration. Pressure in the job market is especially pronounced among new graduates. In 2024, China's university graduates reached a record 12 million, up from 11.79 million last year. Online videos and discussions reflect that 2022 and 2023 graduates are still searching for work, not just the class of 2024. Worryingly, the 2025 graduating class is projected at 12.22 million, setting new records for years to come. Some argue that China's higher education now faces a cusp without an exit. Graduation equals unemployment. Evaluations suggest that no more than 20% of graduates achieve normal employment, meaning only 1 in 5 finds a suitable job. The rest either pursue graduate studies, study abroad, rely on their parents at home, or take non-standard jobs like delivery or courier work. The city job slump has also caused a flow of migrant workers returning home. Although official media like People's Daily report 15 million returning entrepreneurs, the real situation may be that many migrant workers, after months of fruitless job hunting in cities, began returning in March. This was evident at major city stations in March, where luggage-laden workers boarded trains home, unable to secure urban work. Calling this a return-home entrepreneurship trend only underscores the severity of city unemployment. Official data put China's urban employment population at about 470 million. At a 5.4% urban unemployment rate, that implies 24 million out of work. Yet some economists, such as in Gao Shanwen's study, argue that official figures may undercount by 47 million, suggesting up to 70 million unemployed in cities. Considering 3 consecutive years of over 10 million graduates, classes of 2022 to 2024, still job hunting, even at a 30% employment rate, and excluding those in further study or abroad, at least 10 million graduates remain in cities seeking jobs. Adding the existing unemployed, the total could reach 80 million. Subtracting roughly 10 million who returned home, at least 70 million urban residents are still unemployed, a stark portrayal of China's current job crisis. From both social and economic perspectives, China's most urgent need is job growth, not merely consumer stimulus. Last year, 3 million restaurants closed, a record high. If each restaurant employed 5 people, that directly cost 15 million jobs, worsening unemployment and reflecting consumer collapse. This year's economic picture is clearer: investment, consumption, and exports all show signs of contraction. This suggests China is undergoing not a cyclical downturn but a systemic recession that may have only just begun. On the investment front, the property market remains stagnant, and local government finances are under severe strain, making large-scale investment difficult. On the consumption side, the slump is closely tied to deflation. One major cause of deflation is falling property prices, which erode the wealth of the middle class, once strong drivers of consumption. Families once owning 2 million yen properties see their value drop to 800,000 to 900,000 yen, even if they still have substantial assets, their spending confidence plummets. Shrinking middle-class consumption deeply affects the entire consumer market. Moreover, lower income expectations and continued property declines further dampen spending. In exports, although official data show a modest share going to the U.S., some analyses estimate that U.S. factors actually account for over 25%, even nearly 30%, of China's exports. With Sino-U.S. trade frictions intensifying, export prospects look grim. This year's export figures may struggle to grow or could even fall. Demographic factors are increasingly shaping long-term economic outlook. Young people's low willingness to marry and have children is worrisome. Last year saw only 6.53 million marriage registrations, and births are expected to fall below 8 million this year. For a country of 1.4 billion, fewer than 8 million newborns is alarming, signaling deep changes in population structure, and even talk of a population collapse. Debt risks continue to mount. This year's 2 sessions highlighted that both central and local governments are further levering up. Many see this as unavoidable, given massive fiscal pressures. China's total debt, including sovereign, local, and hidden liabilities, is estimated near 146 trillion yen. With a shaky property market, strained local finances, and blocked exports, growing debt adds to the economic challenges. Economists debate whether China has hit an inflection point. One view holds that the era of cheap labor has ended. Now China enters a second inflection, when its demographic dividend fully vanishes. Today's China faces a paradox: millions of graduates can't find work, while aging accelerates. Young people face joblessness, sky-high, though falling, housing costs, and a bleak future, so they hesitate to have children, buy homes, or spend. At the same time, rapid aging strains pension and healthcare funds, even leading to hospital closures. The U.S. China trade war and tariff conflicts are seen as a trigger in this economic quagmire, like a small bomb before a nuclear blast, setting off chain reactions that could spark a full-blown crisis. China's current economic state is no mere turning point or trough. Its old growth logic no longer works. The tariff war is like hitting a wall, blocking the old path. Worse, China has yet to find a new development path, leaving society steeped in despair. Unemployment itself is not terrible if people can find new jobs. But when joblessness drags on for months or over a year, people lose hope. This growing despair is at the root of social unease. Some observers suggest that even China's leaders may feel desperate, unsure how to respond. China's living environment is rapidly deteriorating. Many viral short videos depict urban decline in commerce. Although some blame e-commerce costs are also high, and many platforms struggle, perhaps worse off than brick and mortar. Commercial decline reflects a city's decay, which in turn mirrors China's worsening living conditions, potentially reverting to pre-reform levels. This trend is indeed deeply discouraging. In summary, China's economy now faces structural, systemic challenges. Unemployment is the core problem, intertwined with weak consumption, sluggish investment, and obstructed exports, all magnified by demographic shifts and the trade war. Finding new growth drivers and easing rising social anxiety and despair are China's most urgent tasks. This is China Discovery. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Your support means a lot to us. Thank you, and see you next time.